Hey, welcome everyone. This is Robert with Mr. Texas Real Estate. My partner, Jason Bible. Thanks for joining us. Jason, just give us a little market update.
World's ending.
Oh, it's all over.
Do not participate in any of your capital calls. Should I not said that out loud?
No, you shouldn't have said that. Well, I was just talking to someone who said, he said, he's got this feeling that, people under, say, 40 are a little nihilistic in that they're not looking for a future.
Okay.
He said, I think a lot of people who are investing today or trying to invest there are a little fatalistic.
Oh, interesting.
And they aren't believing in the long term. I was like, I wonder what that mindset is. And I wonder if anyone done a study.
Well, I keep going through here's what I know. 5 years from now, your lack of participation is what you're going to regret.
Oh,
That's what I know 5 years from now.
Oh,
for an absolute fact.
Yeah.
I'm in a couple of different groups, and one of the guys in the group's like, oh man, world's ending, going to be a big crash next year. And I'm just sitting there listening to Logan and listening to the other guys, and I'm like, show me the data that says there's some crash coming. Show me some data that homeowners are in trouble. In fact, the big news today was inventory ticked up a little bit. Active listings ticked up, but so did sales. Sales is up. Sales are up year over year.
Wow, that's December, huh?
Yeah, it's December.
Oh, November.
Well, it's November data, right?
Yeah,
but interest rates are also up 1.5 points since last year. So I'm like, guys, it's over.
But down a few bips as of this recording.
Yeah,
came down a little today.
The game is over. You missed the crash.
Yeah.
The problem is now you are going to be competing with homeowners to buy your real estate deals, which is fine because, like I said, a lot of you chose not to participate in the last couple of months. 7.3%. That's where we're at this morning or this afternoon. And if you look at it, this is what I've been doing. I did this on the webinar today. 2023. We are down. This is in the last 30 days. We are down over 0.5 point.
Yeah, 60.
We went from a little over 8 to just at 7.3.
Yeah, wow. 70 bips, yeah.
In 30 days.
Yeah. When it moves down, it's going to go fast, right? So we should have some economic indicators by the end of the week. Powell's supposed to speak at a luncheon on Friday. And if he can just offer just a little bit of stabilization and confidence to the market, we're hoping that we end the year in the 6s. At which point we will have a normal spring and probably a better than average summer.
They're already predicting just even if rates stay the same, we're going to be at about a 4% growth rate this year.
Oh, that's nice.
And the other thing a lot of folks have said is you get to any number of interest rates that starts with a 5, it's game over.
Yeah.
You can take all of your models, all your predictions, all that, throw them out the window. Also on another blog I was reading, this year, 720,000 millennials turn the golden age of 36, which is the first time you buy a home.
That's when you buy.
So that number hits a 5 or even gets close to it deep in the 6s, it's game over. Meaning start selling your portfolio, take the profits, and pay off some debt, right?
Yeah,
like it's going to be absolutely bananas.
Yep.
Absolutely bananas.
But like always, you got to get through the winter.
Yeah, you got to go through the winter.
Right.
What's going on right now? Your insurance renewals are coming in. Your taxes are due.
Just came up. Yep.
And the numbers are atrocious.
Yeah,
they are absolutely ridiculous. Some of the stuff that we're having to pay, but that's real estate investing.
Yep.
I find it fascinating. Folks put money into deals and they expect like, oh no, what do you mean? I got to have reserves. Wait a minute. I expect you to have reserves as an investor and syndicator and all that, but I'm not supposed to have reserves if something goes wrong. It's pretty interesting to watch.
Well, we talked about that last night. And so, the problem with our little YouTube thing here is we don't have clickbait.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right? We need to tell them the world's collapsing, right?
I may just start a whole
clickbait channel.
I don't know. Brian and I have been talking about putting on an event like how to prosper in a crashing market or something like that.
Yeah, it's not crashing, no.
Yeah.
We talked about last night, and one of the things we because we have some new Mastermind folks, and so everyone's on the watch other YouTube channels, they read other things, and so they're like, I want a BRRRR, I want my money out. I'm like, have you done a BRRRR before? No. I'm like, okay, so how much of your money are you expecting out? And like, all of it. I'm like, all of it that you put in, or all of it that you put in and carried?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, those reserves, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about the money that you put in at the deposit, like when you bought it, or are you talking about that money plus what you had to carry? Whoa, what? It's like, right. So what's your hard money LTV at? 70%? 75%? The marketplace for mortgages right now, there's not a lot of options for cash out refis above 65% LTV, which means you're not getting your cash out. You can get a rate and term 70, 75, even 80, right? But it's hard to get that cash out. And then the DSCR plays into that. So we said, hey, you got to really dig deep for these birds. And if they're just in this marketplace, it's not necessarily that they're not around. It's the mortgage. It's the financing side. And one of the things we say to all our students and all the folks that come out to our events is there's one person in charge of your real estate career. And, for all you Gary V guys, and you're going to hammer it and do it, and nothing's going to stop me.
Crush it,
right? It ain't you. It's the underwriter. The underwriter is in charge of what goes on in your career. Now, you can go get owner financing, but there's still an underwriter there. That's the owner. They're going to negotiate terms. They're going to want to see who's borrowing it, right? Maybe you're doing sub two, same thing. But at the end of the day, someone who's going to give you that mortgage is the person who's going to be in place for you. Now, we work with a lot of wealthy folks, and we've said, hey, you've got to leverage to grow fast, right? So, but if you came in and said, hey, I'm going to put all my money in, I'm going to take all my money out, you might be able to do that, right? If it's
do it a couple of years.
No payments, that type of thing. Yeah. But I'm talking about in that first 12 months. 36 months later, yeah, no problem. Market goes up. The refi market should be drastically different than what we're seeing today. And you should be able to conquer that thing and pull that money out and go do another one, right? So that's why we tell folks in our mastermind or our classes, this is a 3, 5, 7 year, sometimes even a 10-year process, if you will. What else is going on in the marketplace?
That's about it. I'll go back to my predictions I made in February of this year. I said rates will peak this year. They'll start to come down in late Q3, early Q4. That's what's happening. If rates don't dip into the 6s, they really didn't after they started climbing. Mm-hmm. I said, it's going to be a lot like the last half of 2022. That's exactly what it's looked like. Everything I predicted has absolutely come true for the 10th year in a row. So it's like, when I hear I've heard this for 10 years now. There's a real estate crash coming. There's a crash coming. I'm like, I keep looking at the data. I look at the data every single day. I don't see it. Let me tell you how a crash starts.
No, it hasn't. Not since
07. The way it started in 07, it started in 04 with bankruptcies, credit deterioration.
Right.
Then we got hit with a job loss, a recession. Then 08 happened. It took almost 4 years.
Right.
So even if we saw a bunch of defaults and property starting to go through the foreclosure process now, it'd be 2 years before those would hit the market. 2 years.
Yeah. And we're not seeing any of that.
No, the stuff that's going into foreclosure now started back during COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
So, in fact, I went to the Harris County website and I started pulling the notice of trustee sales and the substitute trustee notices. And I just started pulling up addresses. You can go right in there. You guys can see it. Starts with the legal description, then it has the actual address in there. Start pulling the addresses. What you'll find is the houses that are going are huge pieces of junk. Huge pieces of junk. So
at 82 cents on the dollar.
At the 82 cents on the dollar, that all of you guys are going to be buying up, getting quote foreclosure deals. I was sitting there looking at it. I'm like, I wouldn't buy that one. Like one was like 90 grand in Humble, needed everything. Me completely destroyed. Probably 100K rehab.
So you're in 200,000.
And it's worth 225, right? 240. Like what's the point?
Right. You can just go buy something new and negotiate down 10%.
Yeah. And then just buy that and be done with it.
Hey, we haven't talked about the house hack for the 3 and 4 units.
Oh, yeah. So big news. There's been some substantial changes on the house hack side of business. So what's a house hack? You buy a multi-unit, you're going to live in one and then rent out the other units. So they have dropped I always forget what they call this, the suitability
Yeah, sustainability.
It's called I don't know why they call it this because it doesn't make any sense. But basically, if you're buying
what they're saying is, will it sustain if everyone is vacant?
Well, yeah. If
that was that problem,
your unit is vacant, will it? In other words, if you had either one occupancy in a 3 unit or one occupancy in a 4 unit,
right,
would the revenue from that completely pay for the expenses? Essentially, give you a 1.2 DSCR. And the answer is no. Like
never would.
It never would. Like
right,
that's never going to happen.
Right.
So in any case, they've done away with that requirement. So you can do as little as 3% down now, which is wild.
So we had a live example of that with the house appraised at 360, passed everything. Mortgage lender said, "Okay, hey, you got to bring 200,000 to the table."
Yeah.
And obviously that deal fell apart in many different ways. So,
yeah.
But nowadays, that's not the case. So that same unit, right, at that number there, give me a quick mortgage calculation at 7%.
Oh, hold on. I keep that on my phone.
Yeah. So now you'd only have to put 5% down, which is phenomenal. So
what did you say, 360 grand?
360, yes. So call it 340.
I'll do it.
You
want to do 5% down, 7%?
Down.
What do you think taxes are on that thing? Probably $7 grand.
Yeah, probably 2%.
Insurance $2,600. So you'd be at $3,100 a month,
right?
With $18,000 down plus closing costs, you're probably at $25K out of pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would get on these rents, we're thinking like 3,600, right? Times actually 2,400 times 0.75. What's that?
Oh, now I got to pull up a real calculator. 0.75.
1,800.
1,800 bucks.
So they're saying, hey, what you have to do to qualify for this mortgage is have a debt to income ratio cover a $1,300 monthly payment.
Yeah, which is
nothing.
Which is nothing. Yeah,
right. So the house hacks are back essentially. Yeah. Now, if we did that with a quad, even better, right? So
let's give you guys the real math here. That means the difference between what you'd collect in rent, which is $2,400, and the note is $3,100. You'd essentially be renting in Edo. Actually, you'd be owning in Edo a 4 unit for $700 a month, in which you live a 3 unit in which you live in one of them.
Right.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, that is a phenomenal deal.
Mm-hmm. Too bad it's under contract.
No, it's under contract. Closing December 8th.
Yeah, so
they're doing the appraisal Friday.
Yep. So that's absolutely big news, and there are probably 6 people in our mastermind that absolutely need to take advantage of that. We've got to go now, and pick this stuff up, because what will happen is that spring bloom, right? That when the bloom happens in the real estate market, typically houses start getting listed in April, and then the real peak is right around Memorial Day. It'll be too late.
Well, here's what I've read nationally. They've already said we have less price reductions than we do last year.
Mm-hmm.
We've got more inventory. Sales are already coming back up.
Yep.
They're saying, look, at minimum 4% increase in prices by the spring. I'm going to say it's at least 10 because they could way undershoot that one every single year.
I just know where we're at.
Right.
It could be that could be the median, but for us, we're always at 10%.
You're going to be looking at paying 10% more for that house.
Yep.
In 8 months, 8 to 9 months. It's going to be brutally expensive. So it's like, just wait. You guys just wait. I have said this since October 2017. If you think real estate is expensive now, just wait. And that is turning out to be true.
So that's interesting, because usually we see, we'll have to see what we'll really know the end of in April how we did this winter. We'll have that first quarter and then the last quarter data to see where we're at.
Well, I'll do the big market update and market predictions in February, of which I think I'm the only guy that does this, that actually pulls up my predictions from last year.
Oh, there you go.
And then shows you what I got right, all of it. And
I remember wrong, Jean Dixon, she would put her predictions in an envelope, right? And seal the envelope.
Oh, that's cool.
Remember that? And then she'd give it to like Johnny Carson. And then
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, let's look at it, right? And that's how he got the great Cardini, right? When he did his thing. Like she would write her stuff and put it in a sealed envelope.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. All right. Hey, that's it. that's our little update. Definitely get at it. You know how to find us, 281-401-9008. We've got a couple big events coming up here in December. And right at the end of the month, very, very big event. You don't want to miss it. We've got a couple specials going on to start the year right for 2024. So we're so excited to get in front of you guys and get this thing going. So, hey, thanks for joining us.